Afternoon. It's Anna Kibble, District Director here in Denver in Colorado Springs. And I am joined once again with my friend Andrew Batson. Andrew, how are you?
I'm doing great. Good to see you again.
Good to see you too. Hey, I'm excited. I'm actually going to be up in your neck of the woods tomorrow. I'm going to be hanging out at let me look at the name of the place, Cozy Coffee, which is up close to I want to say like I-25 on 120th, maybe.
Oh, okay. Excellent.
Yeah. So if 144th, a little further north. So if you're in the neighborhood and want to stop by, or anybody who's watching on Facebook, I'd love to see you. I'll be there from 10 to 12 tomorrow.
Excellent. That's awesome. Should be a good day to be out.
Yeah, yeah, hopefully. I mean, the weather's been super mild. It's not only a good day to be out, it's a great day to be building real estate today.
Yep. Absolutely. Lots of building going on out there.
I'm
I actually
always
have some,
looking for that good segue.
I've got some building going on in my backyard. I've got a pool going in the backyard. So uh,
Nice.
digging it up. So yeah, no, I love talking about building. I had a period of about 10 years where I ran a building company as well. So I've got some thoughts to share with agents working with customers that might be building. And also a lot of opportunity in homes that need fixing up. And so I think we can probably cover both of those today, talking about new construction, but also rehab loans when people are buying a house that needs a lot of work, or maybe they,
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
yeah, or maybe they just want a pool added. So, so yeah, we can talk about both. Um, you know, for your buyers out there, a lot of times the really great neighborhoods and locations where people want to be are limited in their housing inventory to older homes that may not be ideal, right? So the ones that somebody's come in and remodeled, renovated, added a second story. You think about your downtown areas, kind of those sweet spots or those great neighborhoods. Well, those guys that are doing that, they're not a charity. They're making money doing it, or they wouldn't be at it, right? So
Right. Right.
so a lot of times in a neighborhood like that, I mean, a $600,000 house is, not going to be something your buyers are interested in. Maybe their budget's 1.2, but at 1.2, there's just nothing on the market that they like because all of those renovated homes, pop tops, remodeled, all that might be 1.5. Well, with a renovation loan, it allows you to buy the home and pay for all of the improvements and remodeling in that single purchase. So it really, to the buyer, feels like they're buying, you know, the finished product. They don't have to buy the house and then figure out where am I going to get the money to do the renovations. We can wrap it all up in one loan. And so I think that's kind of a neat thing. And as an agent, if you understand that and can kind of position yourself in some of your marketing, then instead of being just limited to the inventory that's out there that's already remodeled, partner up with a good general contractor and take people out to see homes. There's a whole show, that Fixer Upper, right, around that. So people are familiar
Absolutely.
with the concept. But yeah, the financing for that's really quite good. So that's one
Well,
option.
so tell me a little bit about the financing for that. Does that all end up just being their mortgage at the end of the day, the co
It,
or initial cost of the home and the construction cost?
it does, yeah. So at the time that you're purchasing, and it's not going to work if you've got a deal where it's like, I need to close in 30 days. We might have to do two loans. We might have to do a loan to get you into the existing house and then a loan. But if the seller's got a little bit of time and you can, go ahead and get your sort of renovation plans, it depends on what you're doing. If you were literally just putting in a pool or renovating a kitchen, you could probably get that done real quickly. But I mean, if it's a pop top where you're going to need architectural, and engineering and bids and everything, then it's going to probably take longer than most sellers might want to wait. But yeah, you need plans and a budget, and so we're going to then, instead of appraising the home as it is today, the loan looks at it and says, "What will this be home worth when you're done with the work? Here's a budget for the work, and here's what's going to be done." The appraiser simply appraises it based on what's going to be done at the end. The lender, we close on the loan that pays for the purchase. You're then entitled the money, obviously, to to buy the home gets paid out. The seller has to get paid. The money for the improvement sits in an escrow account and it gets paid out to the general contractor as the work's completed. So yeah, I mean, it's because otherwise, right? You buy a home, let's say you have 10% down, you buy the home, put your money down, and then you don't have 500,000 or 200,000 for the renovations. This allows you to finance all those renovations without doing like a second mortgage or home improvement loan, which are never great. Those are always going to be shorter terms, higher interest rates. So yeah, it works out. It's a good option. You don't see it very often, but it's out there, and it works well. So I think for an
Yeah.
agent can really kind of market themselves as I'll get your dream home. Having a good builder you trust is key, though. You need to find a
Yeah.
local builder.
Yeah, I know we used to see a lot of them like maybe 10 years ago when there was, when there were more distressed properties on the market because sometimes you needed to get into that, FHA, like the 203K
Yeah,
loan,
exactly.
right?
203K. Yeah.
Yep. And so I know that there's some times where, especially in those highly distressed homes, you might be buying a home that's not habitable. And this is a way to be able to get into it and control the costs. But I think you're right. I think a lot of people forget that this is an option today.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It goes under different names. The home style renovation loan is one. Then there's the FHA version of it too. That's
Yeah.
the Freddie Mac version. But yeah, it's pretty simple, and I think a good option for somebody that wants to buy a home and be able to finance those improvements. The other option is dirt. Like you've got somebody that wants to build a custom home, and I don't know about you. I know for most of my early time when I was doing real estate or my wife was doing real estate, when somebody said they wanted to build a custom home, sometimes you kind of feel like you're going to get cut out. You ever feel that way? Uh,
Yeah, either that or honestly, I just, I might not even know where to start. So instead of getting cut out, I might just excuse myself from the process because I don't
right.
know what to do next. Right?
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So it's funny. I remember I had my first custom home built about 20 years ago or so. Um, and I remember the builder, talking to him after he built the home, and I said, "Hey, would you, um, if I bring you a buyer, would you pay me a commission?" And he kind of hemmed and hawed about it. And I thought, how silly is that? Like for a builder, getting customers is part of your business. There's a cost associated with that if you can pay a commission. So some builders for sure are a little bit silly in their thought process of, oh, I'm not going to pay a commission to that. Like, just you're running a business. Marketing is an expense of running that business. If you're charging too little to pay for marketing, then maybe you're charging too little. Um, a typical custom builder that's building on the concept of sort of cost plus, like they're going to charge you a fee based on what it costs to build plus their fee. That the cost plus is about 15 to 20%. Oddly, it doesn't go down with the bigger home prices. So I been involved, with financing. My wife doing sales for a builder here in Broomfield, and they build $2 or $3 million homes, and that sort of 18 to 20% range is pretty typical. And so out of that, if you bring them a buyer, and they'll do that for any Fathom agents here, just call me and I can connect you if you're in the sort of Broomfield North area. They'll be happy to pay a commission, but we'll pay a 3% commission on bringing them a client. Now, uh, finding a builder to do that takes a little bit of work. Builders generally do kind of a poor job. But the first thing is, yeah, finding a builder in your area that will do a good job, because you've got to take them, your clients, if you're bringing them to a custom builder, they've got to be somebody reputable. Don't take them to somebody that has only built a couple of starter homes, and now you're trying to take them for a custom home. It's just there's a big learning curve with that. But yeah, if you have somebody that wants to build a custom home, uh, there's land out there. It's sometimes a little tricky to find. Like the hardest thing is the sort of subdivision type lots where they're not custom and their budget's 800,000 or, even 1 million. And they say, hey, I want to build a custom home. Gosh, that's tough because like the thought is, well, I don't want to buy a tract home, from a big box builder. I want to build custom. And that price point is hard because there's so many economies of scale that the big builders have. And those lots, they do the development themselves and they own every lot. But when you get to the custom side or the more rural properties, that's when you can usually find lots for sale. So you search the MLS and you find lots. Having a good builder though is key. So if you're interested in that market, and I actually do recommend it, I'm happy to chat with anybody about it. My wife and I had a custom home building company for 10 years. We sold that a few years ago. But I know the ins and outs of it, and there's a good opportunity if you can sort of brand yourself as somebody, the go-to person that knows custom homes, and you have a builder that you work closely with. You can help the builder grow their business, which is going to grow your business, and also attract new clients to yourself. But we do have one-time close construction loans. So that part is actually pretty easy. There's loans that you can use to buy the lot if you need to sit on the lot for a while. Otherwise, it's just a one-time close that finances the cost of the lot plus the cost of construction, and then it just converts to a permanent mortgage at the end of construction. Um, there's not a whole lot more you need to know, other than I would say finding a good builder is probably the thing that's going to take the most legwork. But the financing side, just give me a call and I'll walk you through it. It's definitely the one thing I know really, really well is construction budgets and how that needs to be presented to the bank. And that's important that the loan officer understands that. Otherwise, the deals don't tend to go as smoothly, but can definitely help your builder kind of put together the budget that the bank's going to like and make sure the draw schedule and everything works for the builder, and kind of do some due diligence on the builder contracts and all that to make your deal go smooth for your customers.
Yeah. Andrew, what is that? What do rates look like during that construction loan process? Are you accruing interest during the, building period? Does it get refinanced at the end to a current rate? Do you stick with today's rate for the whole process?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say the rates are the idea behind it is that it's just your 30-year mortgage, so that you're getting a 30-year fixed rate mortgage. The rates aren't going to be the absolute like rock bottom because it's kind of like getting a year-long lock. So anytime you're
Gotcha.
kind of like hedging the market, so they're probably going to be about a 0.5% higher. The great news is the end of construction, if rates are lower, you can always refinance. And so it locks you in against rates going up, but you can always refinance if rates go down. The other thing we can do is it doesn't have to be a one-time close. We can approve you for your permanent mortgage, and then I work with a local bank that will do your funding of your construction, and then we'll just provide your mortgage at the end of the process. And we'll look at both options. Honestly, there's pros and cons to both. The interest question is a good one because sometimes the one-time close programs do charge you interest on the entire loan balance. In other cases, there's some programs that only charge interest on the amount that's been spent so far, which if you think about it, the first month is just permits, the second month is excavation and then foundation. So the loan balance
Sure.
is low, so the interest is less over the course of the loan.
Okay. So it sounds like the best way to kind of figure out what the best option might be for your client is to sit down together, right? To put together a meeting so that you can talk about what they're looking to do, and you can help partner them with the right program to make that
Yeah,
happen.
for sure.
Yeah.
Right. I wish I could tell you that I had a list of builders all over the state that were good builders. That's the missing part. And also in Flatiron and Copper Homes, the company I sold, aren't necessarily the best for most people. They're going to be a little higher end custom, and they go from about Westminster, Broomfield up to about Loveland, Berthoud. But if you had a custom buyer in that would be an easy one because you could just call me and I could connect you and get you, make sure you're getting paid and everything. But yeah, but I definitely, if I'm talking to you and your customer, like everything about building the process, the timeline, the steps, everything about it, I'm gonna, be able to sort of help quarterback that and make it a smooth. So more than just a lender, I'm going to sort of help manage the whole process. So yeah, if you can find the client, find them a lot, make sure the budget's realistic. That can work great. It's also a great way um, to generate as you get a builder. This is a whole nother sort of class or something that we could do. But if you have a builder that you can work with, it doesn't even have to be your listing. If there's land for sale, what we used to do, as a builder, it's like you don't want to just go buy 200, 300,000 euro lots and sit on them. But if there's a lot for sale, I can get a floor plan and a house and a beautiful 3D rendering of that house shown on that lot. I can then, as an agent, you can then market that, and you tell the listing agent on the lot, hey, can I help co-market this with a house? If you sell the lot, it's fine, but my goal is to bring a buyer for the house. I'm not trying to make a commission on the lot, right? And so, you're the managing broker here, so you can figure out the mechanism on that. But it hadn't generally been a problem, but there's obviously some written agreements between the parties. So now you're marketing a to be built house. The MLS has specific rules that you have to market as not constructed and to be built and all that. But yeah, good builders should be able to do that. Here's a great house. I built it before. It fits on this lot. This is what it would cost to build. Now you've got a listing that is getting eyeballs and people calling you, and then you're talking about building. Oh, that's not the right location. Well, here I can build for you here. So it sort of creates inventory for you, and something to talk about. Obviously, it's not going to be a quick sale. It's got to typically get paid when the house is done. But yeah, it's a great way to kind of grow your business. That's certainly a good niche for people.
Yeah. And a great conversation starter, when you're looking to meet custom builders, right? Who do you
Right.
have marketing your services right now?
Right.
How many listings do you have on the MLS today of to be built homes? And there's a really good chance they're going to say, we don't have any. Well, what if you were to partner together and you can create inventory for yourself and your business, and right? And then you're creating opportunities
I,
for that builder as well. I,
yeah.
I think that's a win-win.
I think it's huge. I think the
Mhm.
mistake is going into a custom builder and telling them, oh, like a lot of them have like a spec home that they built, right?
Yeah,
Trust me, builders that have spec homes know an agent. Like they didn't get spec homes built because they didn't know an agent. And typically it's an agent that's just putting it in the MLS and charging you a very small amount. Builders
right,
are generally fairly cheap. They're not, oh, I've got the spec home, I'm going to pay out 3%. They're in the business of
right.
building the house and watching costs. That's a whole different conversation when you go to them and say, hey, I'd like to, help bring you buyers. I mean, that's the first conversation is just if I bring you a buyer that wants to build a custom home, can we have an agreement that you'll pay a commission to me?
Yeah,
And then if it's that, and then the second one would be is if I have a lot available, you don't have to buy it, but if I have a lot available, would you help put together plans and pricing so that I can help market that? And if we can bring a buyer, then great. Then we sell them the lot with a one-time close loan. You build them a house, and yeah, that's super exciting. So that's the way to get in with a builder, and it shouldn't be hard. But yeah, it's definitely not like, oh, can I list your spec home? That kind
right.
of. So yeah, I think that's a great way to do it, and take some initiative, right? Like you got to go out and meet them, but their signs are up. Drive around in the custom neighborhoods and look at houses under construction and talk to the builder. And you're not lying if you say, "Hey, I'm in real estate," and I talk to buyers about custom, and I always never know quite who to refer them to, who to start with, and want to see if I could chat with you.
Yeah.
Easy. So,
Absolutely. I love this. I love this conversation. You're obviously a wonderful resource with all of your experience in the custom home space. And our partner, the branch manager here with Encompass Lending Group, helping us in Colorado, our Fathom agents connect with all of these different mortgage solutions. I tell you, every time we dive in, I'm learning something new, another program, another solution I can bring to my potential buyers. We were talking recently about these DSCR loans, and I'm going to put a pin in it. Do you think we could chat about those next week?
yeah, let's talk about those. That's great for your investors. Absolutely.
I was thinking about it today. I got a call from from somebody with a duplex, and they're like, I think I'm ready to sell. I'm done being a landlord. And I was like, oh, we were going to chat about DSCR loans. So let's put up that
Great.
on the list for next week.
Perfect.
I love it. Thank you for your time today. If if you happen to run across this on the Facebook page, will you throw your contact information in on the
I will.
comment?
Yep, absolutely. All right. Thanks.